Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation by Railbookers of our last-minute bucket list rail vacations. I'm excited you are here today. We had a fantastic presentation earlier this morning with a lot of really good interest and even a lot of compliments based upon our vacation products that we are currently offering. So I am excited to speak to you directly today. My name is Kyle Smith. I am your host, and I'm also one of the business development executives here. And I will be explaining exactly who we are, what we do. I will take you through our top selling European vacation packages as well as our Canadian rail vacations. And I'll be talking to you a lot about the destinations as well as the life on board the trains itself, because that is part of our vacation packages, of course. So if you have a pen and paper handy, I would encourage you to grab that and please take note of our reservations phone number at the bottom of your screen at 888-829-3040. And to the right of you in the GoToWebinar grid, you will find some customizable or some flyers for you to download, and they will have some of our discounts that we are currently running, our top packages that I'll be sharing with you today. And that'll be helpful to have handy when you give us a call to make a reservation. Or if you prefer, you can take it to your local travel agent if that's how you go about securing your travels at this time. Whatever discounts that we apply, you are entitled to regardless if you book with us directly or if you go through your trusted travel agent. Now, throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, please put that in the question box below, and I am monitoring that in real time, and I will be happy to provide you an answer towards the end of the presentation. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So Railbookers is the name of our company, but we are also a part of a company called the Yankee Leisure Group Incorporated, a privately owned U.S. tour operator that has several different vacation brands. You may recognize our sister company, Amtrak Vacations. They are based in our Boston office, and they do the U.S. national parks and the major metropolitan cities as Amtrak Vacations. And we are the official tour operator for Amtrak. So we do have a sister company for US rail travel. Railbooker specializes in independent travel in the European markets, Canada, Asia, Australia, and now South Africa. And so we truly represent international rail, and we know international rail better than anybody. These are the 2019 brochures and for 2020 that are available to you now. The brochure on the left is our generic one. It'll have the majority of our European products as well as a map of the European network. The second brochure for Eurostar Vacations will focus on Western Europe, where the Eurostar travels around. And so you'll find all of our vacation packages for the United Kingdom, France, Spain, Germany, the Czech Republic, and so on. We also have a brochure for Via Rail Vacations, so that'll have all of our Canada rail packages for the Canadian Rockies going across Canada, anything Canadian related. And we also have a brochure for Trenitalia Vacations, and that'll be all of our packages for Italy, one of our top destinations. So I would encourage you to order yourselves one on the internet or to go ahead and give us a call, and we can go ahead and get these out to you. So let's talk about the European network map a little bit here. Again, this could be found on the inside cover page of our generic brochure. And as you can see here, every country in Europe, for the most part, has its own high-speed rail service that goes international. Now, the questions we get asked here day in and day out are, where do the trains go? Where do they connect? How long is it going to take for me to get from Paris to Spain, and then I want to go to Italy or whatever the case may be? Can I go along the coast to do that, or is that inland, and so on? Well, as European rail experts, we know the answers to those questions because this is why we are in business. Nobody understands European rail better than we do. And we focus on this. We do a lot of other things besides the rail, as I'm going to be introducing you today, but this is what draws customers to us, is because of our rail expertise. So if you'd like this map, go ahead and order a generic brochure and you can have that. Here is the network map for Canada, the Via Rail, Canadian's main train line. As you can see here, the Via Rail goes clear across the country. The most famous route is called the Canadian, and that train goes from Vancouver to Toronto or vice versa in 4 consecutive nights. And if you're a rail enthusiast, then I'm sure you know all about traveling across Canada by rail because it is a major itinerary for people who love train travel. Canada is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I've been to the Canadian Rockies myself. It is an unforgettable experience. And we have a lot of packages for the Rockies and also for going across Canada. So what can Railbookers provide? Well, I'm going to go into each of these key points here in just a moment, but I first want to define what exactly a rail vacation is. It's no different than any other vacation package that you've come across. We include the transportation. So in our case, that'll be the rail journey. Whether you're looking to do a one-way rail from, let's say, London to Paris to a cross-continent adventure, we can go ahead and fulfill that for you. Our packages also include hotels, ferries and transfers, sightseeing activities, and more, and our packages will illustrate that for you. So basically, we can provide you a one-stop shop, hassle-free booking experience for you. We'll do all the heavy lifting. You can give us a call and you could talk to our travel consultants, let them know what you're thinking. We'll make a recommendation based upon our packages or custom built an itinerary to your liking. So you just tell us where and when, and we will do the rest for you. Now, one thing we can do for you that nobody else in the travel industry or in the general public can do is we can book rail in Europe 24 months in advance to include pricing and schedule. So if you're considering a trip to Europe this year or in 2020 and you would like to travel by rail, you're not going to be able to view the pricing and the schedules until about anywhere between 60 and 45 days before your departure. So at this point, if you're considering a 2020 adventure, you can book your flights, you could probably book hotels, but it's the rail you're going to have to wait. Well, that's where we come in because we can book the rail in Europe 24 months out with our direct contracts with all the high-speed rail companies. We have insider access that nobody else has. So we would like to be able to give that to you. So if you're considering a river cruise in Europe this year or next year, or you're attending a conference, whatever the case may be, we can go ahead and put a package together for you and secure all of your rail right now. Flexibility. Now we are what we call a custom itineraries travel supplier. In the industry, it's known as an FIT travel, fully independent travel, flexible travel, in other words. So our packages that I'll share with you today, we can customize them so we can add additional rail, we can add extra hotel nights, or even build a package completely from scratch. So everything I share with you today is not set in stone. Some vacation packages you'll come across, what you see is what you get. That's not the case with us. We're flexible. We'll twist them around any which way we have to give you the vacation you're looking for. So let's look at our Ultimate London and Paris package as a customization example. So this package is quite popular for us here. We book it almost on a daily basis. 3 nights London, hotel and sightseeing, the Eurostar high-speed train to Paris, 3 nights in Paris. Now let's say you'd like to do this, but you want to head down into Spain or go up into Amsterdam or Germany, whatever the case may be. That's no problem. Just let us know where you want to start and where you want to finish, and our team here will do the rest for you. So you can reverse the package around if you'd like, or we'll build it completely from scratch. So let's talk about river cruises for a moment. River cruises are very popular vacation products in Europe, and what we find from our customers that book rail and hotel with us is that they're doing either an ocean cruise or a river cruise in Europe, and they'd like to extend the vacation beyond the port city. So if this is something you're considering, you may want to pay attention to some of these packages here because we do a lot of custom travel itineraries in Switzerland in conjunction with a Rhine River cruise. So if that's something you're looking at, you may want to consider extending your vacation in Switzerland since you're already there. And the package on the left is one of our most popular options, our Zermatt and St. Moritz tour. In a nutshell, this package begins in Basel, or so you could get off the Rhine River cruise and get on the Swiss rail, head down to Zermatt, spend a few nights in Zermatt, take the Glacier Express, which is a scenic train in Switzerland, which I'll talk about, to St. Moritz, and then you'll get to do the Bernina Express across the border into Italy before returning back into Zurich. So you can do pretty much a cross-country Switzerland tour in just a few days, and in conjunction with a river cruise. Now, these are some of the other major cruise ports around the world that are very popular for ocean and river cruises. So if you're going to be visiting any of these cities, we have options for you to continue your vacation beyond the ship. Okay, so with that, I want to go ahead and introduce you guys to our top packages for last minute travel that we've been booking a lot of lately. One of the most populars that we carry is called the Canadian Rail Experience from Vancouver to Toronto. Now, again, if you're a rail enthusiast, then I assume this is an itinerary that you're going to want to do at some point. And so here's how it all comes together for you. Our journey begins in Vancouver for a 2-night stay. Now, if you do not fly, we could always put you on the Amtrak coming from your hometown to get to Vancouver. That is absolutely possible. So upon arrival into Vancouver, you will spend 2 nights at a hotel that we provide for you. Now, real quickly, our hotels range anywhere between 3-star through 4 and 5-star. So wherever you are in terms of luxury and budget, we can accommodate that. Vancouver, obviously a major cruise port in Canada, gateway to Alaska and the Canadian Rockies. So we have a couple of activities for you to do while you're in town. The first one is going to be a hop-on, hop-off tour. And if you've ever been to New York City or Chicago, those are the red double-decker buses with the open roof. And those will go around Vancouver, and you can literally hop on and hop off any place you'd like. We're also going to include admission into the Vancouver Lookout, which is actually photoed here in the center of your screen. It's that tower that rises up about 700 feet, gives you a full 360-degree view of the city with a revolving restaurant and great photo opportunities up there. So we include a voucher for you to get into that activity free of charge. Now, after Vancouver, of course, it's worth noting too, if you'd like to go out to Victoria, no problem. We can put you on the ferries to head out there if that's something you'd like to see. Very beautiful out there. But the real journey begins on board the Via Rail as you make your 4-night journey across Canada to Toronto. Now, this is when it really gets fun. So with vacation packages, transportation sometimes is included, whether it be a rental car or a flight. This is a little bit different because you're going to be able to see a side of Canada that nobody can see unless you're on the train. You can't. I suppose you could drive across Canada if you've got the time, or you can sit back, relax, enjoy the scenery, and let us handle the driving for you as you go through the magical beauty of the Canadian Rockies before heading over into the East Coast. Now, one thing about Via Rail is a lot of people don't understand the onboard experience. What are you going to be doing on the train? Because you're just roaring across Canada. Well, it's meant to provide you with rest and relaxation. So you don't have to worry about the trip planning. You don't have to worry about stopping for food and gas and bathroom breaks. The train will just head across country, and you can reserve yourself a cabin so you and your spouse or whomever you're traveling with have a place to sit and sleep at night. You'll have your meals included, and you'll have access to a shower. So it's like a moving hotel, but it's on a train. And the life on board the train is very social. You're going to get to meet people in the dining car and hear about their travel experiences and what they're looking to do, and even create some new friendships. And that's what we hear from customers. So you're going to do the 4-night journey all the way across Canada to Toronto. Now, upon arrival into Toronto, we provide a 1-night stay at a hotel, more of just a decompression night after getting off the 4-night journey across the country. And while you're in Toronto, we'll have a hop-on, hop-off tour for you, as well as the Toronto City card. So you can get into the CN Tower, which is actually pictured here. And again, that's a revolving tower, so you can get great views of Toronto. If you'd like to go out to Niagara Falls, which is what I would personally recommend, we do have tours for that. Or if you want to continue your rail journey up into Montreal or Quebec, you just let us know how you want this to go, and we'll go ahead and do the rest for you. So that is the Canadian rail experience from Vancouver to Toronto. We also have this package starting in Toronto and heading west. So if you're in the East Coast right now and this is something you'd like, we can make that easy for you. But this package is an 8-day itinerary, 4 nights on board the Via Rail and 3-night hotel accommodations. The next package is the Scenic Switzerland from Zurich. So if you've ever wanted to go to Switzerland and see it all, look no further than this package. You'll see all the major cities and get to take in all the luxury trains that Switzerland has to offer. Now we have this package either from Zurich or Basel, depending on what you're doing. Zurich, of course, is the capital, so they have a major international airport. So if you're flying directly in from the US, there you go. Or if you're getting off a river cruise and you want to see all these great cities either before or after, just let us know. But the first hotel on this trip is going to be in St. Moritz, which is in the southeast corner of Switzerland. This is a photo I took last September when I was with some of my coworkers on a familiarization trip. So we were actually standing on top of a dining area on top of a hotel to capture the photo here. It's a very small town. It's not very large. And there's a lot of cathedrals. You can sort of see one pictured here in the middle. And this is the heart of the city that you're looking at. All of our hotels are right within this vicinity, not far from the train station. So we give you plenty of opportunities to roam the city, check out the cathedrals. There's a lot of high-end shopping. I found a Louis Vuitton store there, for example, and so forth. Tiffany's was there. I'm trying to think of the others. Macy's was another. So there's some of that, but it's really the lifestyle you want to immerse yourself in. The high-end dining, of course, and just walking around the city in the cool, crisp air is just a lot of fun. Now, your second day in St. Moritz is going to be on board the Bernina Express luxury train. And this is the train that'll take you through a portion of the Swiss Alps as you cross over the border into Italy. And as you can see here, this train is a very magical train. It looks like a train toy set with panoramic windows that'll view both sides of the train so you can take in the beauty of the Swiss Alps. We can book you in either the standard accommodations or first class, so you can just indicate what you're looking for, but this is a great train. It will arrive into Toronto, Italy, which is a city just opposite the border. And that train ride is about 3 to 4 hours. I'm forgetting the exact time. And you'll be able to get off the train in Toronto, and you'll have about 90 minutes before you have to get back on to head back into Switzerland. So you have time to check out a cool, small Italian city, grab a pizza, a glass of wine for lunch. There's a lot of great restaurants right off the train station. And of course, the city's fun to just walk around and see the shops and so forth. So it makes for a wonderful afternoon. You'll get back on the train in Toronto and head back through the Alps into St. Moritz, where you will spend your second night at your hotel. Now, the following day, another fun train ride on the Glacier Express, and this is going to go through the entire heart of the Swiss Alps as you make your way west and down into Zermatt, which is the next destination. Now, that's about an 8-hour train ride, but you're going through the heart of Switzerland here. I got to do this last year. It was a lot of fun. Great sightseeing itineraries. We had a great time getting to know people on the trains and just having some fun with the people that I work with day in and day out. Now, on the Glacier Express, you can, there's a lot of different classes of service. There's the standard class, there's the first class options. I would heavily recommend the first class options because that'll enhance the quality of the train trip. Your meals are included, you'll have a server at your disposal, and the first class is up here in the top left. And you'll have plenty of leg room, and of course you can roam the train, which is one of the beautiful things about rail travel. You're not confined to your seat like you are on an airplane. So that's the Glacier Express, and that's going to take you all the way to Zermatt, which was my favorite city in Switzerland. Very small, mountaintop, home to the famous Matterhorn, pictured here. And if you've been to Disneyland in California, which is about 10 minutes from where I live, the idea of having the Matterhorn comes from Zermatt because they have the real Matterhorn. If you're in all seriousness, of course. Now Zermatt is a small town. You can only access it by train or by helicopter. So when you arrive into Zermatt on the Glacier Express, you're going to want to get off the train and make yourself over to your hotel. Now, the hotels are all within walking distance of the train station because it is a very small town. And there is concierge service. They have golf carts with the flatbeds that you can put your luggage on, and they can take you over to your hotel. You'll have to pay a few francs out of pocket to do that, but that's helpful. But then I would encourage you guys to get checked in and head out into the city because it'll be about 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you arrive, and the city shuts down about 7 o'clock at night. So you're going to want to walk around while it's still daylight and grab yourself some dinner. The restaurants are amazing. The people were friendly. There's a really cool cathedral right here. You can kind of see it. With a cemetery adjacent to it. So kind of cool to walk around that and just get lost in the Swiss culture. Now the following day you'll go up the Gornegrat Cog Railway as you make your way up towards the Matterhorn. So that's the rail adventure in Zermatt. The Gornegrat Cog Railway is a tooth-like trolley in a way that will ascend a steep mountain, and you'll get amazing views of the Matterhorn. And that is a couple of hours. It takes only 30 minutes to get up to the top of the mountain, but there's hiking trails, there's a glacier with even a hotel up there that you can have lunch at. So be prepared to spend a couple hours at least for that itinerary. But the best part about our packages is that you're on your own schedule. So you're not on an escorted tour. You can get on that Gornegrat train any time of the day to head up to the mountain. So you're on your own schedule. So if you'd like to sleep in and have a late breakfast, you can certainly do that with us. Now, after Zermatt, you're going to take the Swiss Rail over to Lausanne for a two-night stay, or excuse me, a one-night stay. And this is a great city. It's a lot larger than Zermatt. And we don't include any activities here because you're only there for a night. The train ride from Zermatt's only a few hours. And so I would encourage you to go check out the cool cathedrals, a lot of good shopping. The restaurants are all there. A lot of basic shops can be found on the streets. And I would just encourage you to spend time with your spouse or whomever you're traveling with and just get lost in the city and do the things you want to do. Now, after Lausanne, you're going to get on the scenic train to go through the Golden Pass, and that's going to take you to Interlaken. So the Golden Pass is a remote rail itinerary that the Swiss rail does not go through. So you can check out the rural parts of Switzerland. The Golden Pass is very scenic. And pictured here is the first class and the standard accommodations on this train as you make your way to Interlaken. Now, Interlaken's a major cruise port. It is a cruise port as well, and it's known for Jungfraujoch, which is the top of Europe. It's the highest elevated village in Europe, and we do include the Jungfrau Railway to take you up there. So you're going to ascend an 8,000-foot mountain to go all the way up to Jungfraujoch, the top of Europe. Incredible views. This was something I did not do last year. But from what my coworkers tell me, it was an amazing experience, and this is a lot of the reasons why people want to visit the country. Lucerne is your next destination, and that's going to be about a 2-hour train ride from Interlaken. And Lucerne is a major cruise port as well for ocean cruises, and this is the heart of Lucerne here. This right here is the oldest wooden bridge in the world that goes across the harbor. So a lot of shops on that. It was fun to walk across. And the activity you'll be doing is a trip out to Mount Pilatus, which is about 30 miles away. You actually get on a ferry to head over to Mount Pilatus because it is across the bay. And you'll get onto another cog railway, which will then take you to the top of Mount Pilatus. And it's about a 20-minute trip up. I forget the elevation, but it's awfully high. It'll provide you great aerial views of the city. There's hiking trails up there, restaurants, and it's a couple hours at least to do all of that too. So we include 2 nights in Lucerne. So that is the Scenic Switzerland out of Zurich. So after Lucerne, you could take the rails either to Basel to get on a river cruise, or even head back into Zurich for your flight someplace else. But Scenic Switzerland is a 9-day itinerary with all your rail and hotels and sightseeing activities included. Okay, the next package we have is back in Canada, the Grand Circle of the Canadian Rockies. Now, this is a modified version of our cross-country Canadian tour. This one's unique in itself because you'll get to experience the very famous Rocky Mountaineer, which is a scenic private train that goes through the heart of the Canadian Rockies. And you'll also get the overnight experience on board the Via Rail in one vacation. Now, this package also begins in Vancouver. We do include a trip out to Victoria. And in fact, you'll actually spend one night in Vancouver upon arrival. The second night's on the back end. You'll then board the Rocky Mountaineer to head through the heart of the Canadian Rockies into Banff, which is the first major city in the Rockies. Now, Rocky Mountaineer, if you know anything about it, it's a private train. It's not the transit rail like the Via Rail, but it's very classy, as you can see here. There's 2 levels of service. They have the silver leaf and the gold leaf. Now, the silver leaf is the basic accommodation that you sit on the lower end, the first story of the train, basically, and you'll have comfortable seating and panoramic windows to take in the Rockies. Your meals are included, chef prepared, gourmet quality, and they'll be provided to you at your seats. But if you are the 5-star traveler, you may want to consider upgrading to the gold leaf because you'll have your own dining car as well as your own private observation car, and you'll be sitting on the second level of the train. Rocky Mountaineer is a little bit different compared to Via Rail because it will go through the remote parts of the Rockies, going from Vancouver into Banff, whereas the Via Rail goes north into Jasper, sort of on the outskirts of the Rockies. So Banff will be the next destination where we put you up at a hotel for 2 nights, and this is the famous gondola ride that will take you to the top of Mount Sulphur, and we include it in our package. You'll go up to the top of the mountain. You'll get great views of the Rockies. There's a museum up there. It's a lot of fun. Had a great time doing it a couple of years ago. And then the next destination for you is going to be Lake Louise, where we include a day trip out to the lake. Because no trip without seeing Lake Louise completes the Canadian Rockies itinerary. So Lake Louise will be the next destination. And then you'll head up into Jasper, and along the way, you'll stop and be able to do the Fields Parkway Discovery Tour. And this is the Ice Explorer truck where you get to go out on a glacier and check out the beautiful sights in the heart of the Rockies. And then, of course, this is all done by private transfer coming out of Lake Louise area, heading up into Jasper. And this is where you'll pick up the Via Rail to return to Vancouver. So you'll be in Jasper for a night. Small town. We do have tours. You can do a trip out to Jasper National Park if you'd like. So we can arrange that. But then you'll be on the Via Rail for the overnight trip back into Vancouver, where you will spend 1 additional night and then whatever you decide to do from there. So this is a great package to consider if you're looking to do an Alaskan cruise and you'd like to loop in the Canadian Rockies while you're doing it. And this is an 8-day itinerary that does bring together the Rocky Mountaineer and the Via Rail. Okay, next package is our ultimate Venice, Florence, and Rome tour for Italy. Now, these are obviously the 3 main cities. And keep in mind, we can reverse the order of the package to start in Rome, to go to Florence and Venice, or anywhere else you're looking to go in Italy for that matter. But the package as is will begin in Venice for a 2-night stay. So the city on water. Our hotels are opposite the train station, or on the canal, or right near St. Mark's Square. So you're in the heart of the city, the popular areas. And while you're in town, we'll have the famous gondola ride included, which is photoed here. Right here on this gondola, you'll go across the canal and in between the buildings. Very romantic while you're doing it. And then, of course, we'll have plenty of downtime for you to walk around the city and check out the local restaurants. And we also include a walking tour of St. Mark's Square. And there you'll learn about the history of Venice on a guided walking tour. Now, after Venice, you're going to board the high-speed rail called Trenitalia, Italy's main train line, to head down into Florence. So now these trains are commuter rails, but they do operate at high speed. So the distance or the time it takes to get to Florence is about 2.5 hours. And multiple trains per day going out of Venice, so you can get on the train anytime you'd like. And you'll make your way down into Florence for a 2-night stay. Florence is a very popular city, as you probably know, with the famous cooking classes. We include the winery tours as well as museums, so you can do the things you want to do. Rome will be the final destination where you'll cap off your itinerary with a 2-night stay in Rome. Now, Rome's a very large city, as you probably know, so our hotels are right opposite the train station and right near the Colosseum and the Vatican. So if you'd like to attend Wednesday Mass and see the Pope, you can arrange that as well. By being in town on a Wednesday, we include hotel pickups for our tours, so you're not having to navigate the city on your own. So that is the ultimate Venice, Florence, and Rome tour. It's a 7-day itinerary, 6-night hotels, 2 in each city, with all the sightseeing activities included. The next package is the Grand Berlin, Prague, Vienna, and Budapest tour for Eastern Europe. So this journey is going to begin in Berlin for a 2-night stay. Now, as we all know, Berlin's really famous for the World War II history, of course, and we do include the hop-on, hop-off tour as well as the Berlin City Card, which includes over 50 different activities that you can choose from. A lot of those are which are entrances into the museums, as well as the walking tours for the World War II history. So you certainly have the ability to do that. You'll board the high-speed rail for a trip over into Prague in the Czech Republic for a 2-night stay. And while you're in town, we have the hop-on, hop-off tour as well as the city card included, so you can pick out the top destinations, of course. Your next stop will be Vienna, which is just a couple hours away on the high-speed rail for a 2-night stay. Again, the hop-on, hop-off, as well as the city card and entrances into all the museums, so you'll have plenty to do. The final destination on the package is Budapest, and major cruise port for river cruises, ocean cruises, and so you'll spend 2 nights in Budapest. So our ultimate Berlin, Prague, Vienna, and Budapest tour is 9 days, 8-night hotel accommodations with all your sightseeing activities included. Now, as we wind down the presentation, here are other popular itineraries that are currently running right now. Norway in a nutshell is a big one for Norway. You may want to go check that out. Ireland is another popular destination we do for rail, although I did not talk about Ireland today. We have a lot of great packages for that and many others that you can find at railbookers.com. So what differentiates Railbookers? Well, again, with us, you don't have to wait to make your reservations. We can secure your rail and hotels and everything 2 years out at any given time. The flexibility to develop any itinerary that you're looking for, and we're basically the one-stop shop, so you can get everything you need right through us. If you go to our website at railbookers.com, there's a lot of good info under trip planning. You can learn about more of our webinars. You can request brochures. You can look at the train stations and so on. Our special offers are also advertised online, so a lot of our packages do include early booking discounts, which makes sense because a lot of these destinations are quite popular, as you can imagine, and so sometimes finding space at hotels and on the scenic trains is a little difficult, so the further out you book, the better it is for you in terms of price, as well as discounts to secure everything for you. How to book? Well, you have 2 ways of doing it. You can either call us directly and we'll help you out over the phone, or you can go visit your local travel agent, which is what I usually recommend because they have decades of experience putting together international travel. They'll be able to book your flights for you as well as your Railbookers itinerary, and any discounts that we are currently running are applicable regardless if you book with your agent or with us directly. So what rail vacation or destination are you currently interested in, and when is my ultimate question to you today. We're practically done here, but I just want to give you guys an opportunity to, I'll answer your questions in a moment, but are any of you guys here today interested in putting together a rail itinerary in Europe or Canada? Are you guys thinking anything like that? You can go ahead and put your answers in the question box since I can see that live. Okay, great. Some of you guys are asking about Spain and Ireland and France. Absolutely. We didn't really cover those destinations today, but we have a lot of packages for Spain, France, Ireland. So just about every country in Europe, although I don't have time to go through each package. Again, you can find all that online. Valerie is with us and she's asking us, are tours journey all inclusive? All inclusive, a little bit, Valerie. So the way that our packages work is all of our hotels include bed and breakfast for you. You'll have to purchase lunch and dinner and anything else out of pocket. And depending on the accommodations on the train, if you secure first class, most of the time meals are included. If you're looking to book the standard class, you'll have to purchase those out of pocket. Does that make sense? And Linda's with us, and she's looking at Italy for next March or April. You're welcome, Valerie. Thank you. Absolutely, Linda. I hope that ultimate Venice, Florence, Rome tour stood out to you. If that's something you'd like to consider, we can, just give us a call. Let us know how we can help you out. Absolutely. Richard is with us and he's asking us about additional travel throughout Germany. I'd like to see more than just Berlin. Do you have packages for that? Absolutely. We go to a lot of German cities, Berlin being the most popular, Dresden is another, Munich, Hanover, many others. So you can find those Germany packages at railbookers.com or go visit your local travel agent. All right, Susie is with us and she's looking to take the Amtrak to Canada and possibly do the Rockies, wants to know a little bit more about the train. So the train ride from, I'm not sure what you're asking here, Susie, but Amtrak does go up into Canada, so we can certainly do that for you. And on the Via Rail, everything is included if you have a sleeping cabin with your meals and your showers and everything like that, absolutely. Very good. Anything else, guys? Linda is again asking us, I may have missed it earlier, but do you include transfers from the hotels to the train stations? We really don't, Linda, and the reason why is because a couple of reasons. Number one, our hotels are right near the train station, and that's a very short distance, 1 to 3 miles. So to do a private transfer would add a considerable amount of money to the package. Also, too, train stations are really not all that great when it comes to transfers because there's no parking really at train stations. They're on major streets. They have multiple exits, so it's very difficult for customers to get caught up with the transfer company just to go a short distance. So if I was in your shoes, what I would do is I would just take advantage of the local taxi service. They're plentiful. You get off a train station, you flag one down, they'll take you right to the hotel. They know the city. Even though that's an out-of-pocket expense, it's going to be cheaper than for us to try to put together a private transfer. Now, on top of that, if you're flying into a major city like Rome, we can arrange transfers from the airport to your hotel that we're doing because airports obviously are more geared for transfers, so we can do that. Good stuff. I'm glad I was able to help. Anything else, guys? Make sure you guys see our business hours here. Okay, well, I'm pretty much done with the presentation here. If I can ask another question, what were your key takeaways from today's presentation? If you wouldn't mind giving me a little bit of insight into that, I would greatly appreciate it before I let you go. Okay, some of you guys are mentioning moderate pricing. That's always helpful, absolutely. Bruce is saying that I really enjoyed learning how long it takes to get from one destination to another. That's helpful in planning purposes. Absolutely, Bruce. Our team is more than happy to assist you. The details of the cities. Okay, good stuff, guys. Well, I appreciate it. Well, now's the time to start planning. If you're looking to do anything last minute, we're already booking for the tail end of 2019 and 2020. And a lot of these packages are very moderately priced for 2020. So if you're really looking to plan this ahead of time, now would be the time because we do have early booking discounts for you all. And let's see here. I did see another question. Stephanie said, you mentioned travel agents earlier, but what would be the more affordable option to go through a travel agent or through you directly? More affordable. Well, there would be no difference as far as I'm concerned because the package pricing is the same regardless if you go to your agent or with us directly. Our discounts that we offer, either way, if you decide to book, you're entitled to them. I would personally recommend travel agents though, because they'll handle your flights since we don't do flights, and they'll be able to book the Railbookers journey for you. And that way you don't have to worry about all the extra details. So that would be my recommendation, but of course it's totally up to you. But I've always preferred travel agents because I book my own personal travel through travel agents because they know the details. Anyway, all right, guys, we're open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Pacific, so you can get us on the phone at any time. We do have another session of this same webinar at 2 p.m. Pacific, so if you came in late, would like to watch it again live and get your questions answered by me, I'll see you online then. You'll just need to re-register. This webinar will be posted to our website probably in the next 24 hours, so you can check it out there as well. Anything else before I sign off? Okay, guys. Well, great. Well, thank you. You're welcome, Valerie. Thank you very much. You guys all have a fantastic afternoon, and we hope to see you on board with us very soon. Take care.